Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. Okay, now it's like this. We say that Godi media, we say media doesn't question the government. We say, entire television media is Godi media. Now even press is getting to be Godi media. Everybody talks what the government wants to talk, so on and so forth. And a lot of it is correct also. But have we wondered why this has happened? And have we wondered why this has happened in India? And have we wondered why this has happened in India after 2014? These are the questions we'll ask tonight. Let's get right into the show. You see, in India, policies, like a lot of other countries, are formed by the government. Normally, policies are unilateral. Earlier on, policies used to be discussed, debated, fought over in the parliament. Nowadays, a lot of bills are passed within minutes. So, policies, we can therefore conclude, are formed by the government in power because they've got brute majority. So, they are formed as the government in power. Now, what happens is, we've got a very robust business class, huge amount of business entrepreneurs in India. Now, some of these business entrepreneurs are top world's number 1, number 5, number 10, number 20 and all that. So, we've got rich entrepreneurs. Now, the business of these entrepreneurs depends on what the policies that the government makes. Now, tell me, how would a businessman control the policy of the government? Opposition cannot control the policies of the government. So businessman kahan se control karega? How will the businessman control the policies of the government? Okay. Now, that's where a balance is struck. Businessmen in India, and especially after 2014, it is not that it was only after 2014, even before 2014, a lot of businessmen, huge business houses, therefore holds and controls media. They like to control media. Now, I'll tell you why media should be not seen as a regular business. Because this media business is not a very profitable business. It doesn't make huge profits and all that. Compared to other businesses. One would, if it is purely from a business perspective, one would like to avoid media. Because isse paise waise nahi milte. So then why would business houses invest so much money, time, effort, energy into media? This is where that policy bit comes in. Abhi hota aisa hai ki if the business houses have to have some say in the policy that the government is making, the business houses have to have some power or some negotiating factor with them, that they can go to the government and say, bhaiya dekho, ye policy change kar do. Our media is there to support you. Our media is there to support your party. Our media is there to support your propaganda. Our media is there to say everything what you do is good. This is how it happens. I am therefore not saying that every media is doing that or every businessman is doing that. All that I am not saying. I am saying a case and point. This is how it happens. This is a typical way it is treated with. Media is used as a negotiating tool. Media is a negotiating tool. What does they do? They say that, listen, you know what? Yeah, you have policy, do the way we want the policy to happen. And my media will support you. Tooth and nail. Whatever you say. Aap Bhagwan ho, aap 24 hours kaam karte ho. Whatever you want to say, I will say it. This is what happens. We've seen a lot of it happen more after 2014. See, before 2014 also, for instance, Hindustan Times belonged to Birla. So, before 2014 also it was there. It is not that it was not there, but after 2014, one feels that these negotiations are very rampant. One feels. Because that's where you see media saying things which are, it sounds as if it is a website of the government. It is a website, it is the PR machinery of the government. That's the way media talks. It doesn't talk like an independent media with a free mind. It talks as if it's the PR machinery of the government. Okay. Now, is this only happening in India? Is this only happening in India? The answer is no. Jeff Bezos owns Washington Post. But you know where the problem is? The problem is our editors gets compromised easily, if I may say so. Our editors tend to listen to what the owners say. Owner says, "Bhai, ye nahi chapna chahiye, to nahi chapna chahiye." There are magazines, there are newspapers, there are publications in the world where editors have put their foot down and says that ye nahi chapega. Owner ho ya koi bhi ho. There are editors that only sign up with a newspaper when they are told that they will be given 100% free hand. 100% free hand in what they do. There are editors. They will refuse to accept anything that the owner says. The owner is looking after his coffers, is looking after the business, is looking after advertising. The owner has no right on editorial. There are media houses, there are print houses where the advertising and the management sits in a different floor, at times in a different building, different office, and editorial sits completely separately, so that the editorial doesn't get to mix or there is no influence on the editorial. There are media houses, because that's where they believe in the power of media and in the righteousness of media. That's where they believe that media is genuinely the fourth pillar of democracy. That's where they believe. We too have some editors who have resigned when they realize that the owners may not want to allow them to say what they have to say. They have resigned. We have also seen a lot of editors in India. So it is not that India doesn't have those kind of editors. But I am saying that in India, business houses, media houses, let those editors go. Nahi karne ka, nikal jao. No matter who you are, how much time you spend, and the amount of laurels you have got for that brand and for yourself and for the country, you tell that editor, go. Karna hai hamare desa karo, nahi to mat karo. Nobody questions. The readers don't question, the viewers don't question. That editor is gone. 2 days everybody says very sad, very sad, very sad. Third day they will still go and watch that same news channel. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And that poor editor is sitting at home. Why? He was fighting for his democracy. He was acting for his democracy. So he sits at home. Now no work. So finally, the person who acts for the democracy, he suffers, because obviously viewers like us, we don't support them. So the point that I'm trying to make is, till such time that business houses controls media and media operation, you are going to see more and more media speaking exactly what the government wants the media to speak. Because for the business house, the media is very minuscule part of their business, and for the business house, the sheer reason that they have that media is normally to negotiate with the government or the political party that runs the government. That is why they have that particular media. That is why they invest in that particular media. Paisa kamane ko nahi karta hai. So till such time this happens, you are going to find more and more Godi media. Number one. Number two, till such time that we don't have editors that stands and says, I will not print no matter what, I will not print. I will say the truth. I will say the truth the way I see it. Whether the owner wants it whatever ways, or whether any political party wants it whatever way, I will not allow my editorial team or my editorial department to be infringed by these thoughts. Till such time that we don't have such editors, we will find Godi media, and Godi media will only grow. Till such time that you viewers do not support that editor. You viewers don't go out and say that, listen, if that editor is sacked, we will stop watching your television channel, your news media, your newspaper, or whatever. Editors who really have the guts to stand up, who has the conviction to stand up, who has the conscience to stand up against such bullies and against such forcibly converted PR activity, that poor editor will lose his job. His family will lose their income. His family will suffer. He will suffer. So the fact remains that when the next time you say a Godi media hai, you also understand there's a role you are playing in it also. The next time you say that there is Godi media, you need to understand that till such time that there is business interest in media, huge business houses owning media, believe me you, media will remain Godi. Till I see you next time, that's on Monday at 10. Namaskar.